I used to daydream about being old enough to go on dates. I had this image of myself holding hands with a really cute guy, driving along some pretty road. It's never about going anywhere, really. It's having some sort of freedom, I guess.
Jay, you awake?
What did you do?
You're not going to believe me, and I need you to remember what I'm saying. This thing, it's going to follow you. Somebody gave it to me, and I passed it to you. Wherever you are, it's somewhere, walking straight for you. All you can do is pass it along to someone else.
Hello YouTubers, and welcome to an episode of my Hidden Gem collection. In this collection of videos that I make, I actually analyze and give you guys recommendations for videos that I feel are really good, you know, in terms of entertainment. Got great scores, like from critiques and everything, and they weren't that popular and not a lot of people know about them. So this is why they're hidden gems. Gems because they're pretty special movies, and hidden because, you know, you can't just kind of find them randomly. I just thought that it was a great opportunity to give a lot of these films some exposure. So, you know, the criteria that makes this movie a hidden gem is it has to kind of have a high score in Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and those kinds of sites, and critiques like it. People like it, but it didn't make that much money, or if it somehow did, it just isn't that popular and generally not known. So I'm going to do my best in bringing you guys these pretty cool movies. Some of them are even available on Netflix, and so yeah, this episode I will be giving a review or an analysis of the movie It Follows, which came out in 2014. This movie is actually a little bit of an anomaly in the sense that it's a horror thriller film, and the score it received is so high. I haven't seen a horror film receive a score this high, and horror films don't receive scores that high usually, and so, you know, that in itself just says it's a great film. So I just saw the movie and it was pretty creepy. It was pretty scary, and it was really good. So it deserved the high score that it got. The director, David Mitchell, he's a young guy, and it's his first real film that he directed, and obviously he did a great job. The cast is made up of a very young cast. You know, none of them are really well known. They're kind of in the Midwest. Yeah, it's about a girl has a new boyfriend, and she sleeps with him, and in doing this, she actually gets this kind of curse where wherever she goes, she's followed by just the most random people. It's just, you know, a person that looks like a zombie, and it just follows her. And if it gets a hold of her, then she definitely dies because the person or the thing or whatever tries to kill her. Every time she's being followed by this thing, it takes the form of someone different. It could look like her friend, it could look like, you know, just a person she's never seen before. It could be kind of like a kid, it could be an old woman. A lot of the times it's that this person is naked too. She is the only one that is able to see this. So is, you know, the guy that infected her new boyfriend. And no one else can really see it, so people try to help her, but it's hard because they don't know where this thing is, and, you know, it's just a journey to try and kind of defeat this thing or get to the bottom of it. And the ending, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, and it's a little slow at times. It's pretty slow, but it's definitely worth a watch. It was entertaining. So here is my breakdown of the performance of the movie, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 96, which is super high. Critics love this movie. They absolutely love it. The audience members didn't like it as much, but a 65 is a respectable score. A movie that has a 65 definitely performs above average. I think maybe some people didn't take to it as much because it's an indie film and a little slow. Metacritic is actually a weighted score, which puts weights, and it's kind of like a complex formula how they come up with their score, but it's an 8.3, which is pretty good. And the 8s is for Metacritic is definitely, you know, a lot of Oscar-worthy movies. So 8.3 is an absolutely amazing score. IMDb. You know, a lot of people have accounts, and you have a little bit of the audience score in there, which, you know, kind of brought it down a little bit. They kind of outweigh the critics at times. It's certified fresh, and that is because it is above 75% in Rotten Tomatoes, and because a certain amount of critics, a minimum number, reached, and they scored it. So overall, pretty good movie. It didn't make that much money. I think gross total as of now, it's in the 14 millions. It's not too much money. Box office first weekend probably around 1.7 million. Did, you know, it's good, not great. A lot of way less quality films and other horror films earn way more money. Again, it's because probably this is an indie film, and here's my criteria for why this movie is a hidden jewel. It obviously got great score, you know, and people do like it, and it didn't make that much money, meaning it's not that well known, not as well known as a movie with a score this high normally would be. So there's my performance breakdown. So when I first heard the concept for the film, I thought it was pretty stupid. When you sleep with someone, you get cursed. Sounds like an STD to me. However, the delivery made the concept work for this film. It was amazing, and it reminded me of the older horror films, like in the 70s and 80s. It had a Stephen King, Children of the Corn type vibe. The environment did, that is. I also love the relationship that the cast members have among each other. They're all childhood friends, and they know each other pretty well. They're neighbors. It's a coming of age story delivered by the young cast, by the youth. The soundtrack, it was synchronized perfectly with the moments, and in addition to the environment, helped set the mood as well. I also like the respect that the director gives to the audience by allowing them to use deductive reasoning in connecting the dots and figure out what's happening throughout the film. A lot of things are not really said or spelled out for the viewer, but it allows the viewer to just use deductive reasoning and figure out what's going on. That concludes this episode of my Hidden Gems collection. Tune in for more hidden gems. Also, check out my Race to the Oscars 2016 series. Thank you for watching this video. If you've seen the movie, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you haven't, definitely go watch it. It's a great film.